Hi guys, and welcome back to one of my videos. Paolo here from Sweden. Quite bad weather outside, terrible condition. It's winter time, it's COVID time, it's whatever time, but we go on modeling because it is what we are good to do. And so I want to talk to you this time about this model I made now, and this is an F2003ga, where GA means for Gianniagnelli. It was the tribute Ferrari did in 2003, dedicated to the boss of Fiat, Gianniagnelli, the model, Formula One model of that winning season in 2003. 2003 was another exceptional year for Ferrari in the ages of Schumacher. And so this was between 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004. They were absolutely the winning car. It was seems far, far away from today's reality of Ferrari and Formula One, But I'm not a big fan of the series. You always see my video. I prefer to build up GT cars or trucks or military vehicle or even better planes. And now recently I started also with the power boats. But I think that I wanted in my collection some few Formula One car, very few Formula One car, honestly. Also because in general the scale of these models is not 1 to 24, that is the scale that I am used to work with, but it is in 120. This because probably back in time Tamiya, that was the factory producing the nicest kit around, started to make the models in that scale. That is quite a specific scale. It is not in scale to anything else. You just have few GT cars that even Tamiya made in the 70s, and their Formula One cars, and all the manufacturers follow with them. But I think it's interesting to have something in the proper 124 scale, and so the choice for a modern Formula One is really reduced to few Revell models, so they are not at the same level, of course, of Tamiya. And this 2003 Ferrari, it's one of example of them, and I bought it quite cheap from a guy, Kai, from Holland, very kindly guy. I used to buy some stuff from him, very kindly guy, and he had exactly what I was searching for. So I didn't search for a complete kit or something with some collectible values and so on, because I just wanted to have the parts, and he already started this model. So you know better than me that usually when you start models, when you open the box, when you cut parts and so on, nobody want to buy it back, because there is too much fear to have missing parts, to have damaged part, or to have messed up with glue and so on. But I know what I was doing, and I also know the guy is quite skilled modeler, so the few parts detached was absolutely a plus for me, not a minus in this case. So, and this model in particular also featured, even taken by him, the tobacco sponsors that are quite rare in this case. You see, all the appeal of the model changes completely when you can have the tobacco liveries and the proper sponsor that already in that years were nearly forbidden on the cars in many races. Instead, the Revell box featured the car with the livery without any of that extra sponsor and extra decals. Just a note about the video, I decided to change the position of the camera because I had a funny kid, that write me, "Oh man, your camera is too far away, I cannot see the details." So I hope that this time the camera is just my iPhone, so it's not something prepared and something serious, it is just something fun to keep company and to tell you some of my bullshits during your coffee pause. So the model himself is very simple. Revell made a quite decent shape. The shape of the Ferrari is nearly perfect. The height from the ground is also very nice. All the appeal of the kit is a little bit toyish in my opinion, because they really made it simple. Probably the idea was to provide what they call it a curbside model, so a closed static model without the main engine part. There is an engine in the backside, even if it is really just a mock-up of the engine, or just the basic part and the exhaust system. That is really very few visible in this model. Try to show in the camera just the exhaust, just the two pipes exhaust coming from that, but there is an engine inside. And the assembly is quite simple. It's a little bit tricky for the position of the decal, because for example I had issues on checking the position of the Bridgestone Potenza logos on the wheels, because they had the direction. So if you check the real car, you see that the arrows on the Bridgestone Potenza is quite always in the real car in the direction of the movement of the car. Instead, many guys made the model with the Bridgestone Potenza in the different direction. I see too many models, and also very well done, also in 1/12 scale of the previous F2002 with that mistake. And I also in purpose wanted to leave the wheels a little bit glossy, you know. All the times that I've seen this car in reality, probably was a mock-up, probably was a replica, probably was the copies that they made for stand-up and so on, but the wheels were really nearly painted in glossy, so the appeal was not of a real, you know how much I like to do my tires, use it and weather and then with writings over, but not in this Ferrari. This Ferrari had to be really like a candy, and that's also why the appeal for me was not so special. The only part where I concentrated a little more was around the cockpit, that I hope you can see. Try to come here, and I hope you can see there very few, or I tried to go up with the telephone without making a mess. There. So the seat belt and the buckles are made in Fotwatcher parts, and there is nothing so much to see. There is a lot of nice decal inside the cockpit to give a nice appeal to the model, and of course the most important part is about the painting and the finishing of this model, because you had to be mostly concentrated on the glossy and so on. For this purpose I nearly always use not this, the F13, even if you see that in the background is I used to fix decals, so I use it for the glossy of the car, but I use this stuff. It is the GX100 from Gunze. I think it's very good stuff. I had some Chinese modeler that told me and explained to me how to use, because it's a little tricky to thinner it with the proper thinner that they sell also, and gives a very smooth and nice extremely glossy finish that also self-leveling itself with the proper thinner, so it will become always straight and glossy, and really you see on the Vodafone logo down there, and it really looks like I want, you know, in this kind of models. Very simple model. It took only, I think, between 5 days, honestly, about the beginning of the opening of the box to the finishing in this state, in this condition. Take nearly 5 days, you know, to finish this model. So it was absolutely easy, and yeah, a pleasure to build up. Mostly you have to concentrate a lot around the decal. In this simple model, Revell made the nicest part of their model is always around decals. I think they are some of the best decal I've ever worked with, because they are very precise and very good to use, and they react very well to the softener that you absolutely have to use to place in the proper position. Decals like this, decals like that are a little welded over the body, you know, folded over parts and over lines and so on. So it's very nice to work with, and it was a pleasure, because as I say, this is just the second Formula One that I build up, because I'm not a fan of this series, and even less of the modern Formula One, you know. But I wanted to have it because it's a Schumacher car, you know. I sold, when I had the shop, I was I think I sold millions of Schumacher car, and I don't have any, so I wanted to build one for myself, and that's it. It's a decent model, beautiful, and absolutely make his nice look in a proper collection. And if you want to have a Ferrari, you know, a standard Ferrari, winning Ferrari Formula One car in your collection, this is absolutely a must-have. The price of this kit is relatively cheap. I think it's stuff that you can find around $20, something like that, or even less. In like it happened to me when the box was started and opened, you know. So simple like that. So enjoy it, and if you want to make one, there is this one. There is the F2001 that I also have with the same tobacco sponsor. The F2002, that was the most winning Ferrari ever of this period, is just according to what I remember, was just made by Revell in 1/12. So if there is nothing in resin and so on, probably, I don't know, but the prices became different, and for me it was not worth it for a subject like this. It was just perfect to use the Revell kit and enjoy it, you know, to have a relaxing week in a complicated time. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next videos.